Hey, welcome back to Two Super Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Vinny, and it was a wild goddamn week for the stock market right now, right? So my question and my thought why I created this video is like, what's the next catalyst for the next leg down? What are we gonna be waiting for, and what's gonna really move the market and make the decisions by now that we have the FOMC meeting for September behind us? So that's what this video is going to explore a little bit of.
And I help me with my shorts. If you like this kind of entertaining stock market content where it's two super guys trying to figure everything out, give us a like and subscribe, and let's get started.
Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks.
All right. This background, all of you guys are probably familiar with this. You've seen this graph probably beat to death at this point. But it is actually a good representation of kind of market psychology, I think. And that's why it's worth bringing up again. But my question is, what really is going to cause this capitulation phase? You know, that's at least where I think we are. We're still in this fear realm. But what truly will get us to the point where we're like, all right, like, you know, I give up. I'm out of the market. We've seen put ratios go through the roof, which is obviously a good sign for that. Consumer sentiment's in the trash. You know, we're seeing downward revision in terms of end of year expectations from major hedge funds, or not hedge funds, but you know, investment banks, put it that way. So we're definitely getting some good signs, but I don't know if we're there yet.
Could you define capitulation?
Capitulation basically is when you give up. You know, it's like you're in prison and you know you're just happy to be getting any sex at all. That's capitulation. Is the way I look at it.
That's what she said.
That's the best joke you've had.
That went really dark really fast, but you put me on the spot, and that's what I came up with. So we got this lovely tweet from patron saint of bearish financials, Michael Burry. We had this massive kind of sell off. We hit the maybe the double bottom here at 365 level. Steve Dillon's other video, but this was how he celebrated it. It's like love fall. Just a picture of a bunch of pumpkins and gourds out in the field, you know?
I think this was a power move. He's been talking about shorting forever, and then it finally went back down to low. He's like, screw it.
Yeah. To think that this was just a simple celebration of a bunch of pumpkins he saw on the side of the road, I think is pretty limited. I probably should have reversed Google searches to see if this was an image from the internet or something he actually experienced. That would be an interesting question. Can kind of help support whether or not this was truly an off-the-cuff post, or if he was really referencing the stock market, decline. So this slide I took from another presentation of ours talking about the earnings decline when we go through like this bear market cycles. You're looking for like a 25-30% decline in most environments. 2008, I really tried to find it, and if anyone knows the number, you can please put it in the description below. The reason why we had such a dramatic decline is that financial sector made up a huge portion of S&P 500 earnings prior to this. Granted, they turned out they were all bullshit, figments of their imagination, but that's why the number looks so stark compared to other prior kind of bear market cycles.
Right.
We're just starting to see earnings revisions down from the peak, but you're still talking about growth. Slowest growth in 2020, but still growth in earnings, which I'm not sure I buy that. This is kind of talking about how investment banks like Goldman Sachs cutting the 2022 target for S&P 500 down by 16%. They had previously been calling for 4,300 by the end of the year. Now they're calling 3,600, which is basically flat from where we are right now. But you are starting to see these like downward revisions, which I think is a good sign that people are coming back into reality. So in terms of catalyst, here we go. This is exactly what I was thinking. Earnings season, it's not that far away. I'm super excited to hear what they have to say. Burry also talked about this in the previous earnings cycle, where he said this one kind of seems like the peak or the last hurrah kind of feeling. And I think he may be right. There's going to be, a lot of downside negative kind of reports. We've already seen some of them, the NVIDIA, FedEx, some of the companies that were trailing off towards the end of this most recent cycle. So I think this is going to be a really rough earnings season. And I think this is going to be the major catalyst going forward. Yeah.
Now, what's interesting is tech stocks have fallen far more than other sectors. So you're almost to a certain point, how much farther can they fall? Now, when you look at certain charts, we'll have a video on this, like AMD, NVIDIA, they've fallen so much. Then you see Apple, not really, we're chilling.
Okay. I mean, Apple... they're unique. Yeah, honestly, Apple's my largest holding, and like I love Apple from a stock holding perspective, and from a kind of company perspective to a degree. They have some skeletons in their closet, but they're going to act differently. They are almost bond-like in terms of what people think of them. When times are rough, people want to own Apple stock rather than owning, almost anything else. Honestly, it is literally like that much in terms of stability, the way it's looked at by the
They
market.
can literally change the shape of a button on a phone and boom, new phone. So that's fair.
Right. So this report right here is talking about how they're still calling for earnings growth of 3.5% for the S&P 500 index. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's
All
why
right.
I'm like, I don't know. That's aggressive. I mean, granted, these are very inflated kind of metrics here, but this is really where it kicks off. Okay. Friday, October 14th. That's the key date. Just
Perfect.
remember that.
Citigroup
Yeah.
will never hit a number that they've ever said ever. They're the most stupid. I can't even talk about it. I hate
Well,
that bank.
The big thing we're going to get from this, honestly, from this Friday, is you're going to get comments on both their earnings and what their loan losses reserves are. You're hearing a lot of stories out there about the kind of increasing repo rates are starting to skyrocket. I mean, granted, they were still extraordinarily low, levels before. So skyrocketing compared to those extraordinarily low levels is only still a minor indicator. But your people are not as financially healthy as they were, and this is where you're really going to get that news story. All right.
I mean, it's
other
going to
kinda-
come out with a bang because Citi, I will promise you, did not meet expectations ever. So
Yeah, that's pretty much they put that on their slogan at this point. But you're going to get a big taste of it then, so that could certainly kick off a next downward leg. And then the last week of October is the other really big one to pay attention to. A lot of household names are reporting earnings that week. And this is when you really put the rubber on the road. So you expect huge volatility that week.
this is
at least
going to
in
be
my
a lot.
personal opinion.
Jeez.
Yeah, and you're going to see, maybe a whole market trend versus individual companies, which ones are performing better than others. But it's going to be like the major kind of mover, regardless.
Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a rough week. Jeez.
And then, honestly, you and I might be out of the business. Michael Burry also tweeted this, that he does actually have a YouTube channel, but you never know. It might start posting more on YouTube.
Okay. We're kind of the Burry YouTube channel. So I feel like we have more rights to his tweets than he does.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's supported by zero legal scholars anywhere on earth. But yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Fair enough.
I just thought it was a funny one that you might find interesting. But that's my thought as far as next major catalyst. What do you think about earnings season? Not that far away.
That week looks rough. There's a lot happening that week. You have Amazon, Apple, Facebook weirdly on a day of its own. Facebook's already down to like a 12 PE. Like, how much lower can they go? Sorry, Meta. My bad.
I know. I want to do an earnings calculation of them ex Reality Labs and kind of see where they are in terms of valuation based upon that. I haven't got a chance to do it, but I do own a little bit of Meta stock, so I probably really should get around to that. And I did buy some Google this week, so
Google dropped below 100. We're gonna have a video coming out on levels on the chart that they could possibly bottom at, what that PE would be at, and is it a buy now or later? So stay tuned.
Yeah, look forward to hearing about it. Catch you guys in the next one.
Later.